Some nights I read a bit before going to sleep. Maybe 2 pages, maybe 4, maybe 6. On other nights I don't read. I just go to bed and try to sleep. And last week I was reading a few pages. I felt quite tired. What I was reading wasn't very interesting. It was a story by that, a novel by that Russian guy or Ukrainian guy, I think Korolenko was his name. And it was about a character called Rogov. I guess he was called Rogov for a reason, because he seemed like a total rogue, a scoundrel. But he hadn't started out life that way. He was a model citizen until reaching the age of 19 or 20. Then he went off the rails. He started drinking like a crazy man, getting people into trouble, constantly trying to irritate people. And there was a kind of mentor of his in the novel. He was a few years older than Rogov, and I think he'd helped him when he was young. He'd helped him studying, given him grinds, something like that. And anyway, Rogov, he's just caused so much hassle and so many problems in the town. And the mentor has kind of given up on him. He realizes that Rogov doesn't really care about his opinion anymore. So why waste his breath on this guy? Anyway, Rogov calls into him some nights and he has tea there. Ooh, that's a cold wind. That is a cold wind, right? My hand just turned to ice all of a sudden. Oof. Right, yeah, it's picking up. It's picking up. So, yeah, Rogov calls to him some night. He's having tea, and he says to his mentor, he says, "Do you know billiards, what we generally call pool?" And the mentor says, "Yeah." And he says, "You know that there's a shot you can take." I don't know, I can't remember, was he on about the backspin shot? You know, that shot that goes in a straight line but then it comes backwards kind of in a curve. I don't know if that's what he's on about or something, or he's on about some swerve shot. But whatever, he says to his mentor that he took after his mother for most of his life. He was like his mother. He was a good person, a good citizen. I hope this wind isn't interfering too much with this video. Anyway, he says that he was like his mum, and he was very straight, and he said it's like the straight shot, you know, the ball goes in a straight line. And he says until it suddenly went off in a different direction. And he said that's when I started taking after my father. My father, he said, was a total scoundrel. I never really knew him, but he said I heard of him, and it turns out the apple didn't fall too far from the tree. But he keeps on about this, the shot in pool, where the cue ball swerves, starts off straight and then it swerves. And he asks his mentor, how did it happen? How was he such a good guy going in a straight line? And then he could suddenly turn into a total scoundrel. How could it happen? What higher power had allowed this to happen? And the mentor throws his hands up in the air and says, I don't know, Rogoth. I just don't know. And Rogoth finishes his tea and leaves. And I started thinking about this, which was not good because then I couldn't sleep. I was just thinking of the whole idea, the cleverness of connecting the Cueball to a person's life. I was thinking of people I know. I was thinking of myself as well. And I'm sure you're listening to this, you're thinking of yourself, that in life you were going in a certain direction. You could see the horizon, you were going straight. So you thought anyway. And then all of a sudden you went off in a completely different direction. And there was no going back. It's really, I think a blizzard is starting. Anyway, I'll keep walking this crooked road